Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
What they did to your family, you're lucky to make it out alive.
Streaming on Peacock.
These men are going to come after me. Taking them out is my only chance.
Put a bullet in her head.
From the co-creator of Ozark.
Looks like a family was running drugs.
Execution-style killing, it's rare for the Keys. Any leads on who they might have been running for?
The cartel killed my family. I'm gonna kill them. All of them.
MIA. Streaming now. Only on Peacock.
Hello, everyone. It's with deep regret to inform you that my partner in crime, my partner with this podcast, Cop Talk, Ed Mamet, Captain Ed Mamet, has passed away. Ed and I are friends a long time. I did not know Ed on the NYPD. I got to know Ed years later on, and we both used to always joke around and break each other's chops, and we had an idea that we agreed to do maybe a podcast called Cop Talk. And that was in 2023, 3 years ago. And we had a lot of fun with it. As you know, it would be the first to tell our guest, shut off your phone. And he'd also be the first to remind me, don't forget to tell our audience, listen to us on social media. Ed was a great man, great police officer, great boss, a great captain. A legend, basically. And I mean, he was sharp as a knife. He was really good. And he would yell at me at sometimes when I would text him and say, hey, Kev, don't text me. Okay. I want you to call me, because his eyes were starting to go. And he's like, call me. And, but he was a great man, a great father. He had children. One of his sons, Michael, I'm very friendly with. He has 2 nephews over in the Israeli military. He's very proud of his family, very proud of the NYPD, and he had a great relationship with WABC Radio, and he also had a great relationship with the Red Apple Group owner and also owner of WABC Radio, to John Katzmatidis and his wife Margot and their son and daughter. Their entire family loved and adore Ed Mamet. Captain Ed, may you rest in peace. You'll be dearly missed. You were a big part of this show. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be sitting here right now doing this show, because you're the one that pushed me for us together to do this show collectively. Once again, Ed, Captain Ed Mamet, rest in peace. Thank you.
This is Cop Talk, talking crime, cases, and backing the blue. Now, here are your hosts, Captain Ed Mamet and Detective Kevin Schroeder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cop Talk. I'm Kevin Schroeder, your host. Today's guest on Cop Talk is a former NYPD police officer. He did over 10 years in the NYPD, and now, since he retired, he's been a professional security consultant and worked for many, many big companies, as we'll speak about today. And not only that, but he's also a relative of mine, and we could talk about that in a few minutes. My guest today is Robert Garcia. Robert, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, Rob, why don't you tell our audience, our listeners, where you grew up, what you're from, your background.
Born and raised right here in New York City.
Whereabouts?
Grew up in Chelsea. Robert Fulton Projects, 18th Street and 9th.
Yep. When the neighborhood was the neighborhood.
The neighborhood was a melting pot. It was the neighborhood. It was every race that you could think of, and nobody even saw the race.
Right, exactly.
Totally different than today's world.
Yep, very true. So you grew up in Chelsea, right? Fulton houses, we used to call them, right?
Yeah, Fulton.
And that's where I grew up as well.
Yep.
And so now so you grew up in Chelsea and then go from there?
I lived there until I was 15. I went to high school. I went to Powell Memorial Academy, Lou Alcindor School.
Which is not there anymore.
Correct. I was the 49th graduating class in 1983. The last class was the 50th, and then the school closed down, and now it is condos.
Wow. And there was a tough school across the street, right? Harron? Was it Harron?
Harron High School.
Yeah,
but it was
always fight.
yeah, it was still open when I started, and then it closed down, and then I think it reopened after that.
Oh, okay.
But I think it was something else. I don't think it was Harron. It was such a beautiful building too.
Well, getting back to Powell Memorial, because that was the neighborhood, I lived in Hell's Kitchen, and we used to go up there to the basketball games, the high school basketball games, and I think there was a guy, Larry Petty, I think was the basketball guy. Am I right?
I think so.
Yeah, big famous basketball player. I don't know where if he made it to the pros or not.
Well, Lou Alcindor was there.
Yes, that I know.
They never let us forget it.
No, but that's when again the neighborhoods were neighborhoods.
Right.
The West Side, Chelsea, Hell's Kitchen, the Village.
I think Hell's Kitchen is becoming Hell's Kitchen again, right? They changed it to Clinton.
Hell's Kitchen or Midtown West. You know what I mean? Let's raise the apartment prices and make it Midtown West.
Right.
You know what I mean? When we knew it as Chelsea and Hell's Kitchen,
Absolutely.
But it's sad there's no more neighborhoods left anymore because back in the neighborhood, as you know, anyone out there who grew up in a neighborhood like we did, not the suburbs, you knew everyone in your building. And you knew everyone on the block.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, talk about street justice. If it turns out, one of your relatives was walking down the street and some jerk, whether he's from the neighborhood or not, decided to, hey, maybe I'm going to do a robbery here or smack this guy or girl or elderly person around.
Yep. Guess
what? You would hope the cops came because if the cops didn't come, you had a problem. They were going to take care of business right then and there.
You better
and that's the way. That's when the streets were clean.
That's right.
And I believe in that for sure.
Absolutely.
So Robert, so high school, Chelsea, and then what made you take the test to come on the job?
Junior year high school, my criminology teacher, Brother Kincannon, asked everybody to take the cops test, the fireman's test, and the sanitation test, and said he'd give us all 5 points on our final grade if you took the test and can prove it. And 31 of us took the cops test, and 17 of us became cops.
Oh, wow. That was like the...
I took it when I was 16.
Those are the three... That was like a hat trick, the three tests: fire, police, and sanitation.
Yeah.
Right. I took all three as well.
Yeah. And a lot of people from our neighborhood, like, they either became cops, firemen, UPS drivers, sanitation.
Well, a lot of guys from our neighborhood, too. They worked on the piers, right? The piers, longshoremen.
Two of my uncles were longshoremen.
Yep. Here as well. And then you had the theaters, the stagehands, the theatrical teamsters.
Yep.
It's funny, real quick stories. So I remember when I came on a job, we both have a lot of friends in theatrical teamsters, and some of them are bosses today.
Yeah.
And some are retired as well. And I remember a good friend of mine telling me, Kev, he says, when you retire, you come with us. I'm like, okay, great. The money's good, the benefits good. And I'm like, I don't need benefits. I got city benefits. They're like, no, you don't stand our benefits. We're not getting $1 a day for an annuity. We're getting $7 an hour for an annuity. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, okay. But I wound up not retiring at 20 and going with the stagehands, doing 28 years and doing my own security thing, my own security company. But but that was the plan. That's because you can't predict the future. You come on 20 years and out. That's what we think. And even you came on 20 years, and we'll get into that in a second.
Yep.
But so you took the test, you passed, and what year was this? Did you come on the job?
So I came on in January of '86. I should have been on July of '85. I was working construction. They called me for the job, and the funny thing is that my investigator forgot to schedule me for my psychological interview. So he told me, okay, you're going into July '85 class. I quit my job, and I never got my letter. So I called him, and he tried to get me into the academy 2 weeks late, but they wouldn't let me in 2 weeks late. So I had to wait until January 6th. Good thing my boss took me back to my job, so I was able to work for another 6 months until I came in on January of '86.
So you would have been in my class then, January of 85.
July of 85.
Oh, July of 85.
The one after you.
One after me, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we were probably off the same test, right? 1175?
1185 or 75? Was it
1175, I think it was.
Yes, you're right. 1175.
Yeah, because the one after us was like 8061 or something like that. That
you're
was
right.
the next test.
1175. That's right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I said 85. Okay, so you take the test, you come on the job, and now what?
They signed me to NSU 1. So
Which is where?
the 1st precinct, the 5th precinct, the 7th precinct, and the 9th precinct.
But now at
But
that
I turned
time,
out of the 7th.
But at that time, were you still in Chelsea or in Staten Island?
I was in Staten Island. I moved to Staten Island my sophomore year of high school. Traveled every day back to Manhattan for high school.
So you like back in that day, you kind of like moved up then because you went to a place where there's trees and grass. And
Oh, absolutely.
it's like the country, right?
Yeah.
Staten Island versus Manhattan.
And my mother taught 2nd grade in PS 51
right.
in,
Yes, she
in
did.
Hell's Kitchen on
Yes, she
49th
did.
and 11th.
Yes, I remember that. Yep.
So I always got a ride into the city for my father. My father would drop my mother off on 49th Street and 11th, drop me off on
Chi-Chi,
6th.
Uncle Chi-Chi. Yep.
Drop me off on 61st in Amsterdam for school.
Right.
And then I would, take a bus home at night after school.
So what precinct did you turn out of?
I turned out of the 7th on Pitt Street.
Yes.
The
Okay.
Lower East Side.
So was it the 1st, 5th, 7th, and 9th?
And the
precinct?
9th.
Okay.
Most of that was back when we had Operation Pressure Point.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So majority of our posts were in the 7th and the 9th.
Right.
We had a few in the 5th. And,
Tompkins Square Park.
And every once in a while, we worked in the 1st for an event or something like that.
Yeah.
My first day on the street was the centennial for the Statue of Liberty, the 100th anniversary for the Statue of Liberty. I was still assigned to the academy because I graduated in June, and they put us all on the street for that, for the centennial, and then we all went out to our NSUs.
Okay. So now after NSU, which is called, I think it stands for Neighborhood Stabilization Unit.
Correct.
Which they don't have anymore.
Right.
And then you were assigned to command.
I went to the 6th.
6th Precinct in the West Village.
Bordering the 10th where I grew up.
Amazing, right? So if you lived in a tent, it'd be skip, hop, and a jump to get to work, but instead you moved to Staten Island, so it was a little bit of a drive. You never thought about going to Staten Island?
Never.
Okay.
I didn't even go to Staten Island for high school. I could have.
How about Brooklyn South? A lot of guys go there.
Nah, I wanted Manhattan. I wanted to live in Manhattan. I wanted to be back where I grew up.
Well, 6th Precinct still is a very good house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it was an A house in the summertime. The rest of the season, it was probably a B or a C.
Well, one of your biggest nights down there is Halloween.
Oh,
Halloween parade.
That's a fun night.
A lot of fun. No, I know, a lot of fun.
I worked at every Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Anytime.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a good detail to work.
But it was busy. I mean, it was a busy house. Back then, the meat markets were the meat markets, right? When I worked down there. It wasn't what it is now, hotels and restaurants.
No, it was actually meat market. Meat. You bought your meat there.
It was the meat markets. It was crack heaven. Crack all over the meat markets and
prostitution,
transvestite prostitution.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure the 6th Precinct cops pulled over a lot of celebrities down there. Well, I should say,
I won't name
not even
names.
celebrities, just people in general.
I won't name names, but yes.
Yeah, I heard some great stories, which we won't repeat now.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. That was some crazy times.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
So you're working there, 6th Precinct Patrol, correct?
Yeah. I worked, when I first got assigned, I got assigned to Washington Square Park.
Okay.
I worked in Washington Square Park, and then from Washington Square Park, I went into a radio car. And then after a radio car, I took a foot post. I took a foot post on 14th Street, and I was 14th Street from 6th Avenue to Broadway. That was my post.
Okay.
Day shifts, a lot of three-card money, a lot of, con artists on the streets, drugs too, but got to know a lot of business owners, became friendly with them, and it was a good post. I enjoyed it.
So then what happened?
And then I went into SNU. I went to the Street Narcotics Enforcement Unit. I was in SNU.
Uniform narcotics.
Doing a lot of observation posts, drug sales in Washington Square Park. Getting a lot of what we call walla, fake marijuana. They would make it with real seeds and model glue and sell it in the park.
Yeah.
Did that, made a lot of collars, made a lot of overtime. And then I got hurt chasing somebody.
How'd you get hurt?
Running through a crowd, just turned the wrong way and blew my knee out, my left knee.
Actually, I remember that.
Yeah, tore my anterior cruciate ligament, posterior cruciate ligament, medial lateral ligament, and fractured the femoral condyle. I had one major reconstruction, 2 arthroscopic surgeries, and I have 6 screws in my knee.
Wow. So they what, did they put you on desk duty before they gave you the disability, 3/4?
I was on desk duty, but because I was in SNU, I really worked desk duty for the SNU unit still, and I created a database so that I could manage all of our arrests and all of our regulars and stuff like that. So I did that for a while, and then that's when CompStat came out, and because I was good with computers, I used to do all the CompStat reports for the CO.
Okay.
For Kennedy back then.
Kennedy was the
Michael Kennedy. He was the CO.
Okay.
He was the XO, and then he became the CO before Campisi.
Okay.
I did all of the CompStat reports, and then I got out in '95 when Giuliani came in.
So 95 you get out. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so then when you retired, what have you done since you retired? What were you doing?
So when I first retired, I took like a year off, and then I went to work in the hotel industry. I went to work for Marriott Hotels. I was assistant director of security for downtown Marriott Hotels in New Jersey, then W Hotels. And then after the hotel industry, I went into healthcare.
Now, did you have was a Marriott down by World Trade, right?
That's where I was.
Yeah.
I was down at the World Trade at the Financial Center Marriott. And then I went out to New Jersey and I took the Newark job. I was a director out in Newark. And then 5 weeks before I had left and went to W Hotels in New York. I went back to New York. And then I moved to Jackson, New Jersey. So I went into healthcare, and I was a director for a trauma center down in Neptune.
Oh, okay.
And Marriott called me and asked me to take over the Marriott World Trade Center 5 weeks before 9/11, and I turned it down.
Wow.
5 weeks before 9/11.
Wow, some story.
Yeah.
Wow. But you were there. But you were there at some point early, though, right? The Marriott down by the World Trade.
I started with Marriott in.
So I remember spending a New Year's Eve in that hotel.
Correct.
Right.
Right. I started there in 96.
Okay.
I was there in 96.
Okay. Wow. It's that long ago.
Yep. And then I went out to Newark, and then I went back into New York with W. And then I left because I moved to Jackson, and I went into healthcare. And then I turned down the World Trade Center Marriott 5 weeks before 9/11.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. I remember my wife telling me, man, you loved Marriott. Why are you turning that job down? I said, I don't want to go into New York anymore. Like, I lived in Jackson. It was a ride.
Yeah.
So, good thing.
It's amazing how things turn out, right? It really is amazing how things turn out.
Yeah.
So now, you're at the Marriott. You're at the trauma center down in Jersey, right?
Yep.
South Jersey. And then where do you go from there?
So after I was in healthcare, I left healthcare and I went down the docks. I went into the longshore industry. I was a director of safety and security for Howland Hook in Staten Island, the import export terminal, which is, they call it NYCT, New York Container Terminal.
Yeah.
I was there for a number of years. And then a headhunter called me for a job with the New Brunswick Parking Authority to come in and take over their whole security department. I did that for 2 years. I ended up becoming the director of operations there for 2 years, and then I left there and went back into healthcare. And then after healthcare, then I went back into security, and I went into managing a guarding company. Became a branch manager with a major security guarding company in New York, where I ran their New York City government branch. Managed about 35,000 man hours a week with them, and then left there and went back into the hotel industry in Asbury Park. I was a director of security for all the Asbury Park hotels because I moved to Asbury Park. So I used to walk to work.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're out 30 years, right? Pretty much.
I've been all over the place.
Yeah, so it's 30 years of experience, you know.
I'm out longer than I've been.
And we did some work together with the RNC Republican National Committee.
We did.
And which was good. You did a great job with that. I'm glad we worked together with that.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's amazing. So let's swing back to the police department. You know, so tell me your thoughts on NYPD today.
It's not the same job that the both of us were on. That's for sure.
Right.
For me, the support from up above is not there anymore. I actually feel sorry for these cops that are on the job today because they just don't have the support.
Yeah. Right.
I feel like their hands are just tied with everything that they do, and it puts them at a disadvantage because they're afraid to act where we weren't.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're a different. You have a different mentality. The person that becomes a cop, like you just have that. And today, even though they have that mentality, you could just see the fear in their faces because they're afraid that no one's going to back them for doing the right thing.
Right.
So it's a difficult place to be at, and it's not just law enforcement in general. I feel like the New York City Police Department is like that because it's so large. I have a lot of friends in local police departments in New Jersey and upstate New York where it's not like that. You know, they still support you. The public still supports you. Where here, you don't get that.
Right.
And then, you know, we didn't have smartphones back then.
Right.
Where, you know, people are recording an incident that could last 30, 45 seconds, but they're only showing 10 seconds on social media.
And now today with AI, you don't know what's real, you know? But yeah, and you know, as we spoke before with guests, you know, I just retired when they were coming out with the body cams. And with the body cams, you know, and it as much as we're always against cameras, of course.
But we were first against that.
Right. But really it helps.
Right.
At the end of the day, it helps, you know, to clear an officer of some bullshit allegation. But so, you know, I mean, I think even in the squads, they want them to wear it now as well. But, you know, patrol, I understand. I understand the pushback, but now I understand. I believe a lot of like rookies even understand why, and police officers understand why. It's good. It's a good thing.
Right.
You know? Because it could help us, you know.
I agree.
So when they're showing that 10-second, audio, video and audio of, you know, something that happened for 30 seconds.
We have it all.
We have it all.
Right.
So, you know, you didn't show this part. You just show me, you know, swinging back, but you don't show me being thrown against the wall first.
Right. Exactly.
So, and absolutely. So I agree with that, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's crazy.
77 WABC and Bergen Newbridge Medical Center honor the life of legendary broadcaster and our friend, Ernie Anastas.
Hi, it's Ernie Anastas. You know, your thoughts can affect how you feel. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is the largest hospital in New Jersey, providing comprehensive, equitable, compassionate, and high-quality emergency inpatient and outpatient medical care, plus mental health services and substance use disorder treatment. The Bergen Newbridge team can address your total health needs in one convenient location. Call 201-225-7130 for an appointment or newbridgehealth.org.
Kayak gets my flight, hotel, and rental car right, so I can tune out travel advice that's just plain wrong.
Bro, Skycoin. Way better than points.
Never fly during a Scorpio full moon.
Just tell the manager you'll sue. Instant room upgrade.
Stop taking bad travel advice. Start comparing hundreds of sites with Kayak and get your trip right. Kayak. Got that right.
So now you're a golfer, right?
I am.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so.
You know I am.
I know you are. When I have my golf outings, I invite you. So you're my
ringer.
Ringer, thank you. Yeah, you're my ringer, and you know, and that's how we win a lot of tournaments. You know, and between you and then sometimes my nephew Billy Smith.
Yeah.
But if we have both you guys, we're winning everything.
Right.
You know, if we have one of you guys, it's usually winning as well. But it's a lot of fun. You know, a lot of fun. And we're also related, right? And you can tell everyone how we're related.
Yeah. We are related through Tony Orlando. Long story short, my mother and his mother are sisters. My aunt was married to a man by the name of Leo Casavitas. My aunt got divorced and remarried Louis Schroeder, who is your uncle.
Right, my father's brother, right. But more so than that, they all grew up together.
Yes.
Same building. So, I mean, Leo, Uncle Leo was Uncle Louis, they were all friends,
Right.
It was all family anyway,
right.
All from the same neighborhood in the same building.
Right.
So, amazing, and as I was saying earlier with you, unfortunately, there's no more neighborhoods left. I mean, it's a shame, a lot of our friends' kids, I'm moving to Brooklyn, it's the thing to do, move to Brooklyn.
Yeah. I mean, Brooklyn is the Staten Island jump now, or the Jersey jump now.
Yeah. Well, I know our day, guys and girls from our neighborhood, when they got married and wanted to move out of the neighborhood, they went to Jersey.
Right.
A lot of guys and girls, I know a lot of
Queens. Or Long Island. Or
yeah. Long Island too, yes.
Or up by you too,
Yep, when I used to be upstate, yep. But I know a lot of my close friends moved to like Wayne, and if they kept their apartment in the city, which a lot of guys and girls, I won't mention any names, but they're still in the west side, but they have a Jersey Shore house for the summer and the weekends getaway and have the apartment in the city.
And that's where I live now full time, the Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. I mean, that's where everything's all right down the Jersey Shore.
I mean, back in the day, I lived up on East 88th Street. And when I moved out and bought a house and moved to Staten Island,
I moved to your apartment.
You moved into my apartment.
And if I'm not mistaken, all the relatives that lived there before you and me were there maybe 2-3 years, got married, and moved on. I was there like 9 years.
9 years.
I was having too much fun.
Right.
Until I got lucky and met my wife, Heidi.
Right.
But, it was a lot of good times. And that was a great neighborhood, East 88th Street. It was fantastic.
It was great. Gracie Mansion, right down the block.
Right down the block from Gracie
Doctor's
Mansion.
Hospital, which is Beth Israel now, right? Or is it condos now, right?
I think it's condos.
Condos.
Yeah. But we're talking about the late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
Mid 90s. The traffic agents, they, as we used to call them, brownies, right?
Right.
Traffic agents, because they wore the brown outfits. Right. They used to bang me with summonses every day.
You and me both.
I mean, I had the plaque. It didn't matter where you parked.
I got scofflaw.
Yeah.
There was one that she used to write me and not leave the ticket on the car.
Wow.
And then I came out one day and my car was gone. I went to the 19th thinking it got stolen, and it got towed.
Yeah.
I was scofflaw.
I was a scofflaw too, not by choice, because I didn't even know there was summonses there.
Yeah.
And then I actually had to answer it. There was somehow the job found out about it. I guess they were doing runs, and I had to go answer it out, which was easy, you know. And then and then I had to go down and pay. I think I owed I'm going back to like 1990. I think I owed $4,000, and the judge, whatever you want to call him, he said, "All right, $1,500. It's okay." So
I didn't even owe that much.
Oh yeah. I see I'm on a job. I park here. I work late. I get up 5 minutes late. They're writing the summons. I mean, come on. So he did the right thing. Well, not really, because he should have washed everything away. But $1,500 is better than $4,000 paying that back in 1990.
Yeah. And the tow fee.
And the tow. Well, that's another. Well,
I got booted and then towed.
So I got one even better. I got one even better with the boot and the tow. Watch this one. So now, right by Gracie Mansion, I'm parked, right?
And that's where I was.
But 8 a.m., you're supposed to move it. Okay, no problem. I think it was 7 or 8 a.m. No problem. I get up. I'm actually there on time. My window's broken. At that time, I had a Chevy Celebrity, and they used to steal the computer.
Yeah.
So my window's broken, and the computer's gone. I can't start my car. So I go back upstairs. I get a summons. I'm like, you kidding me? Still can't start it. I'm waiting for the tow truck, the guy. Now, all of a sudden, I get towed. So now I got summons and towed, and my car's broken. And even you've got to pay a daily rate for them to store your car.
Correct.
If you don't pick it up the next day. And it was there for like a week because I had to go get a computer somewhere to install in the car, to start the car, to get it. It was a mess. It was hilarious. You can't make this shit up. But I mean, my car, like you, summons, towed, and broken into.
So when they towed my car, I mean, I was living in that apartment with my first wife, who wasn't my wife yet. She was my girlfriend. and that car was hers that we drove in the city. And because I had a motorcycle as well, but we had her car there. So it was her car that got scofflawed. But her car was registered under her mother. So when I went to go get the car from the peers, they wouldn't even give it to me because the car wasn't registered to me.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I had to go to Staten Island and get my mother-in-law, my future mother-in-law, and bring her to the peers for them to give me the car.
Yep. It's crazy, right? It's we can go on, and then thank God, the traffic agents came under the police department, so they give you a little courtesy, a few minutes here and there. It's gotten a lot better than it was back in the 80s and 90s with the traffic agents and NYPD.
Yeah.
Because they are part of NYPD.
Right.
But it's just, I look back and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, you gotta be kidding me. So, and then you park by the precinct with the plaque, and then people complain about that, so it's amazing. But I still think the NYPD is a great job. Unfortunately, it's changing dramatically.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Commissioner Tisch?
I try to stay out of New York as much as I possibly can, but I think this is a good commissioner. I think she's a cop's cop.
Yep.
But again, her hands are tied as well.
Yeah. I think she's the glue right now with the police department.
Yeah.
Because if she leaves, I don't know who Mandami's going to put in there.
Right.
God knows. And so right now I think she's the glue, and again, her hands are tied as well.
Yeah.
No one's going to be perfect. I do know, coming from a detective squad and now my son being, a detective, it's basically, they're bombarded with work. I mean, detectives today, they get all this, first of all, patrol, all due respect to patrol, because they're told to leave everything open.
Right.
I mean, a lost cat, leave it open to the squad, call the squad, call the squad. So they're bombarded with all these 61s, where most of these cases aren't going anywhere.
Right.
And then they want the detectives, besides working their caseload, which is maybe you normally had 150 cases, now you got 400 cases, they want you putting on your uniform and going to a detail. So now you're a detective, say, in the 9th Squad, right?
Yeah.
First Division, where you start. Say the 6th Precinct Detective Squad. You're a Manhattan detective. You have a big caseload. They're telling you, oh, by the way, the next 2 days, including one of your RDOs, RDO means regular day off for guys not from the NYPD, guys and girls. Now you're going up to the Bronx for uniform detail.
Yeah.
Transit, by the way. You're going into the subway for 9-10 hours until you relieved face to face. And okay, 1 out of 3 days is overtime. I get it. But 2 of those days, now you're being taken away from your workload when you should be doing detective work.
Right. So instead of having 3 or 4, now you got 6 or 8 waiting for you when you get back.
Exactly. And then, the boss is being called down to CompStat. What are you doing about these cases? Well, what am I doing? I don't know.
Right.
He's sending my guys to uniform details.
And do they have less guys in the PDU now? Or the same number of?
No. I know. Like when I was in the Midtown North Squad, we had, when I got there, 37 detectives.
37.
When I got there in 97. And when I left in the end of almost 2013, we had about 27. I believe now, and this is, I could be wrong, but I think they have maybe about 15, 16 detectives. Yeah. But that's a big house.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You take something like the 5th Detective Squad, who had, say, 12 detectives. They have maybe 4 police officers waiting to get their shield and maybe 4 detectives, 8 or 9.
And out of those 12, probably half of them are part of the gang squad.
Yeah.
In the 5th, right?
Exactly. You're doing the robberies, who's doing like the RIPS, robbery enhancement program.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
And that's where Junior is now, right?
Yeah. And it's not going to get, I like it to get better. I don't see it getting better because people are not taking the job. Then let's talk about this. So, from my understanding, when de Blasio was mayor, and say your son was coming on the job or my son was coming on the job, they didn't like that legacy.
Right.
They don't want the legacy.
Right.
I mean, they want whoever, okay? I feel this way. You pass the test, you come on the job, just like being a boss. You pass sergeant, lieutenant, captain, rightfully so, no matter what race, no matter what religion, no matter whatever.
Right.
Respect the rank. But when they start telling you, you know what, if they were failing a lot of. From what I understand, they were failing a lot of guys and girls who were part of a legacy. Their parents, their grandparents, maybe third, fourth, fifth generation, maybe even their father or mother died in 9/11, whether a cop or civilian or fireman.
Right.
And they were disqualifying them. And the only way they were doing that is by psychological. Okay, they had these, not even psychiatrists, I don't know what the hell they really do, but they were disqualifying candidates coming
during
on the
their
job.
interview process.
And it's a fact, it's true, and I'm sure you've heard it before. If not, you're hearing it here. And it's a shame. Now that has gotten better. De Blasio's out. Under Adams, it was much better. Hopefully it will be, it's good right now from what I understand.
Right.
Unless Mandami does something to destroy it.
Well, he's not digging in yet.
True.
Give him time.
True. Well, he wants to be like the young May. He's got a suit on with sneakers and walking the streets, riding the subways. He wants to be America.
Well, it's his first job.
City kid. That's true. That's true. But you still have to do the job.
Right.
You know what I mean, whether it's your first job or not. And at the very least, surround yourself around a good staff, right? A good team.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. How are the you're down at Jersey Shore now. How are the politics down there? Pretty much pro law enforcement and military and pro USA.
Local law enforcement local law enforcement is very good in Asbury Park. It's a busy house. It's a busy neighborhood. There's two different Asbury Parks. Okay. Like, people, when you live there, they ask you what side of the tracks you live on. Whether you live west of the tracks or east of the tracks. I live east of the tracks, which is affluent, lots of very expensive condos going up now, expensive homes. West of the tracks are still a lot of gangs in that part of Asbury. So you don't see too many law enforcement on the east side of Asbury Park. They're all on the west side because it's still busy. Asbury Park is known for Bloods, and the neighboring township, Neptune, is known for Crips. So there's a lot of Bloods and Crips. And when I was the security director for the trauma center down there, the summer times are a lot of shootings in the summertime between the two of them in that area, and it's still around.
Wow, amazing.
It's still busy.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yep.
I would have known that.
But local government within Asbury is it's a very productive, many years ago, 20, 30 years ago, it was very corrupt, the government. And that's really moved out. A lot of changes in Asbury Park are, believe it or not, it's a huge gay community, right, in Asbury Park. Older gays that come down there and live down there, and now they've become a part of the local government. So they really, really work on improving the community. And it's changed a lot. And I've been going down to Asbury Park for 15 years, and even Ocean Grove right next door, which is run by the church. Ocean Grove next door, and it's a dry town. But the both of them, they get along very well. The governments are very well run. And, there aren't a lot of the community that are against law enforcement.
Yeah.
Because they know, like, right over the tracks is a different world.
I mean, that's like Nassau and Suffolk County as well, upstate Orange and Rockland County, Westchester, so-so. But yeah, parts of Jersey, like you said, say Newark versus where you are, it's two different worlds. It's or Jersey City for that matter. Bayonne I think has built up, and so has Hoboken.
Right.
But
Bayonne, they just put Paramount Studios.
Yeah.
In Bayonne. Jersey City is supposed to be something else. And now down near me, Fort Monmouth is becoming Netflix.
Netflix, yeah, that's right.
They're building it right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. They have the space down there versus, New York, and also
it's a huge movie studio that they're building down there.
So much cheaper for them as well.
It was an abandoned military base that, that wasn't being used.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like some of these warehouses, like when we grew up, we grew up on the west side, right? Whoever thought Chelsea Piers,
right?
These piers were like nothing. They were like falling apart.
Yeah, I know.
You won't even want to go down by the pier. Now it's beautiful.
Right.
And it's funny, I show my kids where I used to ride my bicycle, and they're like, really?
Yeah.
And, But
the train tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to ride our bikes up there, roller skate up there. Now it's the High Line.
Right. Now it's the High. Right.
It's the High Line.
Right. Exactly.
And that's how all the cattle. That's how they used to bring all the cattle to the meat markets. They used to bring them down on the trains.
That's right. And now also, and then you had the remember the West Side Highway? It was above ground.
Yeah.
And when it was starting to close it, we'd be riding our bikes up there. And skateboards and everything. You could take it all the way down to the all the way around. Actually,
I know.
Amazing. Yeah. So, so now, Robert, what are you doing now?
So now I run. I work for a security company, AX9 Security. They're a West Coast-based company. We're based out of Northern California, Concord.
Are they fairly new, or?
No, we've been around for over 20 years.
Okay.
Around 10 years ago, they decided to go into the branch model, and they started an East Coast branch. And I run the entire East Coast for them.
Oh, wow. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, and then what type of security do you provide?
We're a guarding company. We provide guard services for retail, residential, commercial buildings, and a lot of schools. I provide a lot of security to a lot of charter schools in Bronx and Queens, and schools, Catholic schools in northern New Jersey. And then I provide armed and unarmed security for retail and residential buildings.
Okay. All right.
Throughout on the East Coast, we're busy in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Washington, D.C., and Maryland right now. Okay. And we're pushing we're pushing further, constantly building our branch to push a little bit further south.
Oh, great. I also know that they've been for numerous NYPD benefit golf outings, which we played in many of them together. They've also been a sponsor as well, AX9.
Yes,
right?
we have.
Yes. So if someone wants to any of our listeners want to get a hold of you or your company, what's the best way? Do you have an email address?
Yeah, best way to get in touch with me is by email. My email is robert.garcia, Garcia, at ax9.us.
Fantastic. So, cousin Robert, I hope you're going to buy me dinner in a few minutes, I hope.
I think so.
Yeah, exactly. Or we can go back to the green room. They have a beautiful setup here. Yeah, right. Anyway, it's great seeing you. And,
you too.
You're the best.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I know it's a long ride from Jersey Shore versus being in Staten Island on the west side.
My old stomping ground.
I'd like to thank our guest, NYPD Police Officer Robert Garcia. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. If you like what you hear, you can subscribe to Cop Talk. You could also follow us on social media. And until next time, God bless you. God bless America. God bless law enforcement throughout the country. And God bless our U.S. military. Thank you.